Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 Paws and Claws run. Hope you're all doing well. Today, we are trying out the Jack alongside the pets to really let our rats gnaw on some high health targets, because of course their little bellies are empty and we want them to fill up. We're going to use a weapon that I enjoy on the Jack quite a bit, the loot, because you can stack the debuff on those enemies to deal lots of extra damage to the high health enemies. And the debuff from the loot does work with pets. They will do extra damage to targets that you've hit with the loot. So there's some synergies there as well. I'm not sure if we'll be able to attack this tree enough. Trees do benefit from the extra health from the Jack. So I think we'll get 8 hits in. No, we were just short. So that actually, trying to kill the tree there, cost me a bunch of materials because I could have killed those 2 extra enemies instead. So a mistake there. I got a little greedy trying to go after the tree. I'll take some bonus luck. Luck is really important for loot because your damage scales off it. So we're going to take that early. And then defective steroids, I'll leave in the pool. Hedgehog, I'll ban. We are going to want a lot of regeneration. We don't really care about melee damage, so we'll leave defective steroids because it gives you health, but we'll ban Hedgehog and then reroll. We'll buy a loot, ban these other 2 items, and then roll, buy another loot. We'll lock Lost Duck. We definitely want to increase our luck, and then roll. I'm just going to ban the jelly here. We intend to just go only loots, so it's just not that exciting for extra health. And we'll roll and lock another loot. Alright, so great. We got 3 weapons, so that boosts the musical and support weapon tags, as well as having a 4th locked in the shop, so we're in great shape. Alright, I will definitely be able to hit the tree 8 times here. So if you're wondering about 8 times, even though the Jack increases the health of trees, and trees are immune to the loot debuff, so you can't easily kill them with this weapon. There's an 8-hit pity rule for trees. If you hit them 8 times, no matter how much the damage that you do to them is, it will kill the tree regardless. So hitting them 8 times with our 3 loots is very doable, and we can kill trees even though they have increased health. I'm going to roll here, and guess I'll just take 5 luck. I could roll for harvesting, but we're going to get to 21 harvesting anyways, just by buying an extra support weapon. And increasing our luck increases our damage as well as making better items and stuff show up in the shop, so it's always going to be good. Coffee will lock, because it's just one of the most efficient items possible. And we've gotten our full weapon tag online at the end of shop 2, which is great. Also, leveling loot is really good, so really nice that we found another one. Loot has 2 tags, so it can sometimes be hard to find more copies of it because both musical and support weapons are more likely to show up. I'm gonna start attacking the gobbler here because I don't know how long it's gonna take to kill it, and I really don't want it to eat a bunch of our materials. Okay, good, we did get it. I was very worried that it was gonna just prevent us from getting any money this wave, but that distracted me. But basically, the loot does have multiple weapon tags, so it can be harder for it to show up in the shop, but they're both small weapon tags, so it's usually okay. I'll take the baby gecko. 10 luck is great, and then I'm going to take 2 armor here. Always good to get early armor. I could roll for max HP or have taken luck or something like that, but picking up armor on this character will help us avoid dying. Gentle Alien, the best item for this character by far. And I will actually take it over a loot here. I'm also going to ban the landmines and then throw in 1 reroll. Lock a helmet. And the reason that Gentle Alien is so good for the Jack is that you have minus 70% enemy spawns on this character. So adding 5% to that, it adds linearly, going from 30 to 35%, increasing your enemy spawns and thus your income by 1/6. So for a normal character, it represents a 1/20th increase in the number of enemies that spawn. For the Jack, it's a 1/6 increase, increasing your economy by a tremendous amount. We were able to kill the Curse Alien thanks to stacking the debuff from the loot. I'm not going to go for the second one, just clearing the wave here and trying to make a bunch of money. Then I will roll. I'll take 12% damage, and we could build dodge on this character. Dodge is pretty good on the Jack because every time you dodge, it's a pretty heavy hit that you're dodging, thanks to the increased enemy damage. But I think I'm going to roll. I feel like there's just more important stuff that we could get early, and 15 attack speed is very good. We'll buy a loot, and in fact, buying out this entire shop. Keep leveling our weapons. Boiling water, I'm going to ban out. Salt water, I'll buy, and then I'll do another reroll, and we'll keep upgrading our weapons again. Cute Monkey is very good on this character, because although there are decreased enemy spawns, they each drop more materials. So you actually pick up more materials than a normal character would. So you get even more healing. And of course, we don't care about reducing our ranged damage. I'm also going to throw in a couple rerolls here, because we're guaranteed to see at least one weapon, and loot is a weapon you really want to level up. The luck damage scaling increases, so very important to level this weapon. And while we have guaranteed weapons in the shop, we want to reroll, even if it's only the one slot. Did we just get no material drops from that curse alien? That is so unlucky. There is a chance that they don't drop materials, but I thought that that enemies don't drop materials on wave 5. But I thought that curse aliens were supposed to be immune to that, like loot aliens, and always drop the money. So that was very weird. I'll take 15 luck here. This increases the base damage of our weapons. And then we'll buy all of these, and then roll. I'll buy the baby gecko as well. I think I'm going to save my ban here to try to get a free reroll with it. What I'm trying to decide is if I want the whetstone. If we get some pets, the whetstone will be very good for giving us lifesteal off of those. It's not great with loot because it's a slow attacking, short range melee weapon, so not usually what you want to use lifesteal with. But it's a very efficient way to buy lifesteal. I think it's worth locking the whetstone, and then I'm going to roll here, lock a tree, and we'll just go to the next wave. And I'm saving my last ban to get a free reroll by banning the last item in a shop later on. Generally, these days, I'm thinking that the optimal ban strategy is mostly to do that, to use your bans to trigger free rerolls. But I do like when you're a character that benefits from specific level 1 items, like the Jack really wants to find Gentle Alien. I like banning level 1 items early, because it does make it more likely to find those items. And although it's a very small effect, it's an outsized effect, because you're only going to buy good items in the shop, so making them more likely to appear means that you will more likely buy those items. We'll take the baby gecko here. I'll take 16% damage. It's a level 4 upgrade. And then this is an interesting spot. So I could take 15 luck. It's better than 6 melee damage because our weapons scale with luck, and the scaling will increase as we level. And of course, it gives you all the other benefits of luck. I could take 4 regen. Right now we have almost no healing, and that is a problem for the Jack. Or I could reroll and look for armor or something like that. I think I'm just going to take the 4 regeneration. Currently having no healing, I'm very concerned about. I'll take the tree, whetstone, and we'll buy spyglass. This is a very high economy character, so spyglass is pretty nice. Also, range is not irrelevant on loot. If we get enough of it, then it does help with this normally short-ranged weapon. I'm going to go ahead and just ban the whatever item that was, the energy bracelet there, because it's not very good for us, and we get a free reroll. Then I'll combine our loots, level those up. I think we can get away with the scarf this wave, and it's a pretty good item for us. It's a little risky. Increased speed and increased damage on enemies is, of course, very dangerous, but move speed we need, melee damage is helpful, and regen we need very badly, so the item is very good. Tentacle I'm going to pass on. This character has, or this weapon has 1.5 times crit damage, so you don't usually want to buy critical hit on it. We'll take loot and Cute Monkey, though. White Flag is always a trash item, but even more terrible on the Jack, where it represents losing a greater proportion of your enemy spawns. Though, with White Flag and the Jack, there's actually some interesting interactions, because Enemy groups will always spawn a minimum number of enemies, so white flag actually reduces the number of enemies you see by less than the stated value, compared to what you would expect. It still reduces the number of enemies, though, so you definitely don't want it. If you I think if you buy both Candle and White Flag on the Jack, the second one that you buy doesn't actually reduce the enemy spawns anymore, because you kind of hit the like minimum number that can spawn per group. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that it crosses that threshold. Here, I'm going to take 10 luck over 12 damage. The base damage on luck is really important, and then we'll take 6 max HP. Going up to 30 max HP will help us avoid dying immediately. We'll definitely take the baby squid. This extra regeneration is going to be super powerful. I don't think we're interested in any of these other items, but a second baby squid we're very interested in. Let's buy defective steroids, and we'll lock the beanie, and then I'll roll. Mouse, of course, for extra enemy spawns is amazing. If we don't get pets in this run, it's still fine. Obviously, it would be nice to have the loot debuff apply to pets, but this is mostly an excuse to play Jack with loots, which is just a really fun run. So now that I have double baby squid, we're in amazing shape. If I survive the next few waves, it's gonna be very hard for us to lose this run. Obviously, I can manage it. You know, I'm capable of many things, but having double baby squid relatively early gives you so much value over time and makes your character so hard to take down that we will quickly be able to outscale even the increased enemy damage that the Jack has to deal with. We'll take Propeller Hat. That's an awesome find. We'll recycle Gummy Berserker. Even with 1.5x crit damage, Insanity for free in a box, I think, is worth taking. We'll take the Loot Alien here, and then I'll pick up 2 armor. Definitely am going to need more armor, and obviously that goes well with the extra regen that we're going to be getting from the squids. We'll take all of these items. I will re-roll the Tentacle still. I'm going to buy little muscly dude. Tentacle also, the crit chance isn't great on this weapon, and the healing isn't great on this character, because there's fewer enemies to trigger it off of course. We'll lock the loot, and then buy another level 1, and then go to wave 9. It can take a while to take down the hatchers on this wave, and you do really want to do that. The slashers for the Jack are really dangerous. And summoning enemies on this character are very spooky, because the number of summons that spawn is not decreased by the enemy spawn for characters like for enemies like the Hatcher here, that, you know, they will always hatch the same number of eggs regardless of whether you're playing the Jack or not. So if you end up with a lot of eggs and a lot of slashers stacking up, it can be very difficult to survive on this character. This Cursed Hatcher is probably just too much health to take down, so instead I'm just going to focus on killing these trees and surviving the rest of the wave. Fortunately, it spawned late enough in the wave that it didn't end up putting too much pressure on us, but it was a very dangerous enemy. We'll take both of these. I'll take 12% damage, and then again, I could build dodge here. I could roll for armor, which we do need, but let's just take 15 luck so we can take down enemies even faster. We'll buy the loot and cute monkey. With 23 regen, I think we can get away with Weird Ghost, and I do want extra maximum health. I'll take a fertilizer. I could start building dodge with the feather, but I think at 0 dodge, it's not worth it. Improved tools I'll buy. Any point of attack speed that you get on this character, on this weapon, is incredibly important. And Snail is actually pretty nice on the Jack. Slowing enemies down does make them a lot easier to avoid. For most characters, that doesn't matter that much, but for the Jack, it really does, because... Ooh, Candy Bag is very dangerous, but very fun on this character. We'll definitely take that. But for the Jack, it really does, because there's fewer enemies, so the fact that the ones that are spawning on the field are slower actually gives you more space to dodge around them. For most characters, the challenge isn't enemies moving towards you quickly, it's them spawning ahead of you or hitting you with projectiles. And snail and similar effects don't help that much against those things, but for the Jack, the challenge is specific dangerous enemies, so slowing them down actually matters a lot. I do want to kill that blobfish and get extra curse, but I wanted to take that tree down. I would love a lumberjack shirt. I think we have one locked in the shop, actually. So, if you ask for something that you've already been given, you're very likely to get it. Some good life advice for you. Yeah, I'll take the wisdom. This character does want to burst elites down, but with this weapon, we're typically going to be killing them fairly slowly anyways, so wisdom will be very helpful. We'll take 15 luck here, I'll reroll. Then I'm going to take 9 HP, going up to 56 health. The candy bag could be very dangerous next wave, because we could end up seeing 2 elites next wave, but I'm not going to pass this item, it's just too much fun. Oh, cursed level 1 loot is actually great, that gets us the cursed loot here. I'll take the goldfish, and do I want medical turret? Given that we have candy bag, I'm gonna take a safety medical turret here. If I happen to run into 2 elites next wave, having the extra healing could be very important. So normally I wouldn't buy this, but with the candy bag, I think I will. Then we're gonna reroll, we'll lock crown. I'm actually gonna take wandering bot as well for the same reason that I talked about with the snail. Slowing specific enemies is actually fairly good for the Jack. And then we'll lock the clockwork wasp. Alright, no elite spawn this wave from the candy bag, but that just means we're guaranteed to get one next wave, right? Obviously not. It's an actually random 10% chance, so that the chances are independent. Just to be clear, that was a joke. But, you know, knowing how the truth of probability works, where the worst thing that could happen always does. We're guaranteed to get 2 elites next wave. The audio cue from Whistle, I know I've said this basically every time I've heard it in a video in the last month, but that's like my favorite addition from the patch. It's so good having that. Gambling token, I'm going to recycle. We're not building dodge currently, and we have a recycling machine, and I really don't want to lose armor against a potential 2 elites that we could face next wave. I'll take the spider here. The downsides are minimal, and 12% damage, 6% attack speed is obviously good. It's not incredible, but it's very solid for us. We'll take 3 maximum health, and then I'll take 12% damage. We'll buy couple economy items and some move speed. Getting 5% move speed there is very nice, actually. Getting faster than the elite matters a lot. I'll buy the fertilizer, and then I'll roll here. I'm not going to buy glass cannon. I think our armor is too low for the glass cannon to be good. We'll take the cake, and then we'll roll again, and then I'll buy the level 4 loot. Lock the level 1 loot. A cursed level 4 loot is really good for killing elites. You can see here that can stack the loot debuff up to 190%, so triple damage, which will overcome the enemy's triple health very consistently with the Jack. And of course, we also get the bonus 100% damage against bosses that you normally have with this character. Do I want the blindfold? We're not really building crit chance or dodge, so I think I'll pass on it. But it's close. Okay, yep, we did get double elites, and we got 2 of the same elite, which is almost always more difficult than fighting 2 different elites. We should have the damage to kill them, and I'm going to do that to try to keep ourselves safe. And I really want to focus 1 down specifically, because what I want is to keep them in different stages. Get back here. Okay, nice, I did get it. The reason that 2 elites is 2 of the same elite is more difficult than 2 different elites is that the game, of course, gives you outs to fight the elite. It wants to make it possible to kill the elite, so their attack patterns have gaps in them that you can move into and not get hit. But when there's two of the same elite, they will often overlap their attack patterns, slightly offset from one another in such a way that there are no gaps that you can dodge in without taking damage. And you saw that happening in that run, so the fact that we survived there, I'm really glad I bought the medical turret for safety reasons, and we were able to survive and kill two elites, so it worked out pretty much exactly as I said, no big deal, but I am obviously the Brotato Whisperer. We'll pick up the tardigrade here for 73, I think that's fine. On the Jack, that can help you avoid taking damage, though immediately we're going to regret taking the tardigrade, because I will also take Bloody Hand. This is just too much bonus damage and lifesteal to pass up on. We'll recycle Gummy Berserker. Kraken's Eye I'll take. It goes really well with the Bloody Hand, because you actually get the explosion damage on every tick. But mostly, we're here for the max HP and Curse. I think also people have a misevaluation of this item, by the way. I sometimes see comments about this. The explosion chance on the Kraken's Eye is mostly flavor text. You're ignoring the damage. This item is good because it's 10 HP and 10 Curse, which is an amazing item. And the if you happen to get a little damage off it, great, but that's not what you're here for. I'll reroll a couple times, and yeah, I'll take 20% attack speed. And then we will upgrade our weapons a little bit more. Roll here. I'm going to pass on Fruit Basket on this character because as the Jack, there's fewer enemies on the field, so you get less benefit from dropping more consumables. We don't have... we have the Kraken's Eye, but Dynamite, just not that interesting for us. Blood Donation, I really don't want, because we would be stacking 2 damage per second. 1 damage per second is pretty doable for most characters. 2 damage is a lot more dangerous. We don't have any burning effects or use for elemental damage currently, so we'll pass on that. Beanie I'll take. Knot and Cyberball we'll pass on. We'll buy a loot, buy a leather vest, and a helmet. I can buy the Weird Ghost, even though we have Bloody Hand. We have enough regeneration to do so, and I think I will. We make back the money immediately on the free reroll, so that's pretty nice. And then we can buy this loot, Alien Worm. We have 4 consumable healing, so I think it's worth grabbing the Alien Worm. And although we only have the Kraken's Eye as an explosive item, I will buy Plastic Explosive here because explosion size is pretty nice for this character. With the Kraken's Eye, there's also a bunch of other exploding items we could get. It was actually pretty dangerous to kill that blobfish while I had the Weird Ghost. And I hadn't checked to see if a Candy Bag Elite had spawned either. So that actually was a mistake. I should have paid more attention to whether an Elite had spawned and the fact that I only had 1 HP. Or obviously more than that by the time the Lamprey spawned. But that I did put myself in a little bit of danger there. As the Jack, you can never get too complacent. The increased enemy damage means that even though we're really, really strong at this point, we're way ahead of where a normal character would be, we could still die. A cursed enemy hitting us at the wrong time, an elite hitting us at the wrong time, with the extra damage that you take when you're the Jack, can just be a ridiculous amount of damage out of nowhere. So this run is obviously going well, but is by no means over yet. We're going into not an elite wave, so I think I can get away with the Peacock. The extra damage is additive with the Jack's extra damage. I'll take the pile of books. Nah, even getting this out of the pool, isn't worth it. We have a recycling machine, so the extra money is just so good. Alien Magic. This costs us luck, which we really don't want to lose when we're using this weapon, but I think is still worth it for the regen. We'll take the Alien Tongue as well, and then I'll make up for the luck that I just spent by buying 15 more of it. And then let's buy out this shop. We'll do a reroll. We'll take a tree, do a reroll. Cursed Gambling Token and a Blindfold in the same shop is actually a good reason to start building dodge, so I am going to do that. Then we'll lock Feather as well, and then a loot. Sunken Bell, I don't think... Actually, this loot doesn't do anything for us. I guess we can just sell the level 1. All right, any elites this wave? I really need to pay attention to that. One item that's new that we haven't found, obviously, in this run, but that's really good for the Jack, is the loot worm. Because that can kill trees for you without having to worry about the extra bonus health that trees have. So that's a very nice item. Because the loot worm just needs a number of hits to kill trees, rather than caring about their damage. I believe how it works is it does 1 damage to the tree 8 times in rapid succession and triggers the 8-hit pity rule is how loot worm works under the hood. I haven't looked at the code, so if I'm wrong about that, definitely feel free to correct me, but I think that's how it works. Scarf I'm going to recycle because we're going into an elite wave. I really don't want bonus speed on the elite next wave. I'll actually take 80 range here. Loot is a weapon that can benefit from range, and this is a range upgrade against a level 4 range upgrade against 3 level 1 upgrades. So this is the type of time when it's okay to take range, when it's not competing against better stats, and you get a lot of it all at once. Here I'm going to take 12 dodge, actually, because we're getting to dodge cap fairly soon, I think. It can be pretty good to build dodge, and then I'll take 12% damage. We'll then sell and buy the loot, buy jerky for more healing. Blindfold and feather gets us to 38 dodge, so we're getting there on dodge. We'll buy another loot. My move speed is actually terrible, so we'll take the compass as well. I've got decent engineering, and extra base damage on all our weapons from the nail is pretty good. Let's roll here. I stopped buying alien worms. I bought a couple of those, but we have enough pickup radius now. I don't need more. Or alien tongues, excuse me. We'll take the blood leech. The extra lifesteal, of course, is very good with bloody hand, and regeneration is good. And throw in one more reroll here. I think we can actually just buy the bone dice as well. We don't need another medical turret. We already took our one safety turret. So this elite we should kill really quickly before we are in too much danger. We're very strong at this point in the game. And we no longer have to worry about, or we didn't get a second elite spawning, so we were able to just focus down the one that did appear. Increased explosion size with this Kraken's Eye Bloody Hand combo will actually make it do okay damage, I think. I don't know to what extent it is helping us clear the wave, but it should be pretty good, though. I'm actually not seeing the explosions trigger. Okay, there we go. We got a couple in a row. I guess we just missed a few 50%. Because, of course, it only has a 50% chance of triggering whenever you take damage. Anvil, great. We really want to upgrade our weapons. This is an early enough anvil. We'll get a lot of value out of it. Cyberball, I'm still going to recycle. There's fewer enemies on the field. Same with Coral. We'll take 2 armor here. A Cursed Snowball. I could get some elemental damage. It doesn't have much use for us, though. Because I could buy the Snowball for 2 elemental damage immediately if I bought Campfire. I think I'm just going to pass on both of those. Alien Baby, actually pretty nice for this character. 6% enemy health when added to Jack's default 175 enemy health is barely noticeable at all. I actually don't know how Knot and Anvil interact. I don't think I've ever had this combo specifically. I genuinely am not sure how they interact. I'm not going to buy the Knot here because I want to be able to buy more cursed weapons anyways, but somebody let me know in the comments how those work together. I'll pass on Stone Skin and Cake. We don't need more max HP. We've got 125. I'll go ahead and buy this loot just to let our anvil start giving us armor immediately, and then defective steroids I'm not going to lock because we have plenty of max health. All right, we got another elite spawning here. This candy bag has really been going off. both giving us a lot of free stats and giving us the extra red items, so kind of awesome. On the other hand, we haven't seen a single pet this run. But loot with Jack is just a really fun run regardless. The loot alien here was just hiding. I couldn't find it. There's, of course, wave 16. We're gonna get curse alien spawns, and I do want to increase those, or to hunt those down. Very important to get the curse alien kills, because there was no chance I could get that loot alien. We're just not fast enough. I'll take the heavy bullets, 8 curse, 16 damage, and the 16 range isn't irrelevant either. Take some more move speed. We'll recycle candle, of course. Fresh meat we're definitely taking. We have bloody hand, so it's worth extra damage. Take 12 dodge here, going up to 50 dodge. Sift's relic will get us over dodge cap. That's awesome, and of course is just an amazing item. Sift's relic giving dodge when it's cursed, I think, is one of the most fun curse upgrades. I like it when cursed items get actually new stats. I think that's always just fun to see. I could buy the knot here because we're maxed out on our weapons and it keeps showing up. But I still want to be able to buy cursed weapons or a cool legendary if we see it. I'll pass on the Scar. We're on wave 17 and we're already level 25, so I don't think there's much point in that. We'll take the head injury, keep on rolling a bit. We'll take a fresh meat for more damage. I could start building crit chance at this point, because our base damage is so high that even the 1.5x crit chance is a lot of damage, but I think we can still do better, and I guess I'll take a duct tape and then roll again. And more move speed, I think, is actually the most important stat for us. We keep finding these relatively inefficient move speed items, like Clockwork Wasp, but still important to buy them for this character. Extra move speed is how we're actually going to survive against multiple elites that could spawn next wave, or the bosses and 2 elites as well. And now that I have 20%, we're in much better shape to stay ahead of enemies while we attack them with our loots and stack up the debuffs. This really has been just like a perfect run. Everything's gone exactly how we would have wanted it. We survived the double elite on the candy bag. We've gotten a bunch of really powerful cursed items and some really high level items. So this has just been one of the best runs we could have gotten. I'll take the cursed gummy berserker. I think these stats are worth -1 armor. It's still close. -1 armor is a real penalty, but we do already have 29 of it. I'll take the focus here. We've only got 1 weapon, so 30% damage for -3 attack speed is good. Barnacle at this point, is this likely to pay off? If we get 3 levels, it will. If we get 2 levels, it won't. I'll take it just for fun. We'll recycle that, take the bat. More lifesteal, of course, is great. Then we'll take 20% attack speed. I don't care about capping my max HP, but I also don't really care about these damage stats, so I'm just going to take the fresh meat and pass on these other 2 items. We'll take a gentle alien, take the bat. Lighthouse does work with nail. We have 20% engineering damage on our weapons here as well. So if we buy the lighthouse, we get plus 4 damage on each of our weapons. Or a little less than +4. I think I'll take it. It's close, but it also gives us a bunch of engineering if we do happen to find some things that work well with that. I'll take the cursed mirror. So the question is, do I want to double any of these items? And the answer, I think, is no, but I do want to buy them all. So I'm going to lock all of these, buy all of those, lock the cursed mirror, and then do a reroll. And I'll probably just double the lucky charm, but if we find something else even better, then we'll take that. Alright, do we get double elites this wave? Dang, I was really hoping for the double elite spawn. Now that we're this strong, double elites are just free red items for us. Kind of wild that we've seen 0 pets this entire time, though. Killing that curse alien, then turning around to finish off the Stargazer. I actually thought that my initial attacks would kill it. That's why you saw some slightly weird movement there where I ran towards it, hit it, and then ran away from it. I thought it would have died. But we can just go back and kill it after. A cursed Stargazer still just has a ton of health. We don't currently have any way to set enemies on fire. Greek Fire is pretty good on the Jack, because increased enemy health means that percentage damage is even better. So I'm going to speculate on this. If I find something good to set enemies on fire, it will be good damage. And then I'm just going to recycle the explosive turret. Even with the bonus explosion size that we have, it's just not worth it. All right, we'll take the Catling gun. Works with our lifesteal, and the damage on it actually isn't bad, especially because it does scale with our engineering. Then I'll pick up 4 armor here. I am just going to duplicate the Lucky Charm because we didn't get anything more exciting to duplicate, and that's just a great item for this character to double. This lets us apply burning to more things with the Greek Fire, but doesn't let us apply burning to start with. Another baby squid at this point, unfortunately, doesn't do anything because we're going into wave 19. We'll take the lure here and the coffee. Missile, I think we'll pass on. Robot, I like how many snakes are showing up, but we have no way to set the fire in the first place. Metal we can definitely take. That's just good stats for us as well. We'll re-roll here. We'll lock the propeller hat and roll one more time. I could take wand. I'll take the loot worm just for fun here. I could take wand to set enemies on fire, but I do think it is worse than just having our loots. So let's go to the next wave. If we get a scared sausage or an incendiary turret, then we'll take it and be happy about it. If not, no big deal. We could have made a bunch of money on selling the Greek Fire, but it is a powerful enough item that I felt it was worth speculating on finding a source of fire. And it's not like we need anything anymore at this point, of course. We can afford to buy nonsense like a loot worm on the last shop because, you know, I'm not going to lie to you and pretend that we could lose this run at this point. Also, I love how many whistles we got with the cursed lure. Just constant whistling as more and more loot aliens spawned. Yeah, we'll take the 25% bonus damage from power generator. I'll recycle the lens. Yes, I have the Catling gun, but the range damage doesn't really matter. 10 range for 63, not worth it. I guess we are going to reroll in this next shop, so I would have made some of that money back, but not that much. I'll take the defective steroids when it's free. We'll take baby elephant. I'll take Stone Skin when it's cheap in the shop as well. We can go up to 200 HP. Plus 1 curse is fine. And then here I will take... I think the crit chance actually increases our damage the most. At this point, our damage output is so high that bonus crit chance matters, even with only 1.5x multipliers. I'm rolling to try to find a good level 2 or higher multiplier, or 2 or higher upgrade, but I guess I'll just take some move speed. We have power generator. Bag, of course, doesn't do anything. Neither does the loot worm, but I just like having it. It's my emotional support loot worm. We'll take the small fish that can help kill enemies faster. Insanity is a pretty big DPS increase at this point because our base damage is so high. And then we'll roll and roll again. We're taking constant damage, so crystal isn't very good. Let's re-roll. Okay, here's a scared sausage, so that'll work with the Greek Fire. So we did find the bonus there. Cursed Grind's Magical Leaf would have been awesome to find even one wave earlier, but obviously doesn't do anything going into the boss wave here. Pearl, on the other hand, that sure does. With 200 luck, this is just 20% bonus damage. And then let's roll again. I'll take the Jelly Shield. It can be pretty good against the bosses, and as the Jack, you do want defenses going into the bosses. They do still hit really hard. Of course, we're so strong at this point that it would be I would have to work to lose this run. But Jelly Shield, I think, can help mitigate the chances of having something go really badly and you lose the run as a result of it. Let's roll here, and we'll take 15 more luck, and I'm just going to roll again just for fun. Nothing interesting. I mean, we did take in the compass here, but nothing that we're that disappointed about having to pass on. And then let's go to wave 20. All right. So no extra elite spawn. I'm a little sad about that. I'd have loved to see that. The nice thing, too, is that the loot debuff does work with the % damage from Greek Fire, so that also helped us kill those enemies super fast. And we were able to pet our loot worm right at the end, which is a sentence that you shouldn't take out of context. And there we go. We have defeated the game with the Jack with loots. This was like the perfect Jack run, honestly. We got basically everything that we could have asked for. Early gentle aliens, lots of extra luck, early coffee, extra cute monkeys for 400 healing. We saved 400 materials on Spyglass, one of the best Spyglass performances of all time. We got double baby squid early as well. The whistle worked very well. An early mouse is great. Recycling machine made us 600 materials. Candy bag gave us 80 stats and 2 extra red items as well. We got 8 bonus items from Treasure Map. The crown gave us 86 harvesting. Bloody Hand, of course, was worth a ton of bonus damage, 78 bonus damage at the end of the game. We had actually 160,000 damage from Kraken's Eye. Wow. So the Kraken's Eye went off. I know I said that this text was just flavor text most of the time, but with explosion size, it can be pretty good. And we had lots of curse and lots of % damage, and the debuff from loot will almost always be applied to the enemies that this hit. So with all of these effects, with the Bloody Hand to trigger it frequently, with the explosion size to make sure it's hitting stuff, and with the loot to increase its damage, the Kraken's Eye actually went crazy. We got 13... we lost 5 HP on the bone dice that I bought, like, right at the end of the game. That's really funny. We got so unlucky on that one. We ended up with, like, a Cursed Sifts Relic and an Anvil. Greek Fire dealt 20k damage, so even against the bosses, it was, like, basically having one extra weapon, which was fine. And the Catling Gun also dealt 15k, so helped out against the bosses a little bit. The Jelly Shield, we only had for the last wave. It blocked 24 projectiles, which is kind of funny. I don't think any of those projectiles mattered to block, but it was kind of cool that it blocked that many. And then we got a big ol' 5 from the loot worm. Alright, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this run with the Jack. And of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.